When you hear that Buster H.R. Oh, man, it's about to go down. You feel the tension in the air? Wrestling fans all over the world, get ready for this right here. They're gonna have a field day with this one. You're about to witness Buster Unmasked! Oh, Lord! Oh, Lord! There's no telling what Buster's gonna say today. We just getting started. Just getting started! Welcome to Buster Unmasked! Hosted by Buster H.R. Johnson. This is a Buster H.R. exclusive. We are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. We are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. You are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. We are now tuned in to Buster Unmasked. Welcome to Buster Unmasked! Welcome to Buster Unmasked! Buster Unmasked!
All right, y'all, we're here. We're live. Yeah, we're a little late. That's JPJ's fault. It's all his fault. I'm blaming it on him right now, man. No, things happen. You got to do what you got to do. It is 7:30. We are here. We are live, and we got a huge show for you here tonight. It is all about OCW, Out of Control Wrestling from Hoxie, Arkansas. This Saturday night, they're headed to Black Rock, and they got one of the biggest cards anywhere around our area in a long time, and we're going to tell you all about it. Let me promote my sponsors, and then we'll get our guest out here and get this thing rolling. For all of your breaking news, sports, and weather in and around the Jackson, Tennessee, and the West Tennessee area, be sure to tune in to 101.5 FM or 103.5 FM. You can also log in to talkinwesttennessee.com. That's TalkNWESTTN.com or newstalk1035.com. For all of your in-home care and consumer direct services in and around the Caruthersville, Missouri area, be sure to call Glowing Hearts at 573-643-2537. Their priority is caring for you and your family. Be sure to check out the Boot Hill Sports Network on YouTube for all of your sports news and live local games in and around the Missouri Boot Hill. That's BOOTHEEL. That's the Boot Hill Sports Network on YouTube. The Boot Hill Sports Network is also the home of American Hostile Championship Wrestling and the Unified Wrestling Alliance every single Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on YouTube. Professional wrestling just the way you like it. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It is OCW time. And my guest tonight, let me just say this. He is the current Unified Wrestling Alliance heavyweight champion, and he is also the brains behind this big show that OCW is bringing to Black Rock, Arkansas. Without any further ado, I bring to you the one and only JPJ. Jack.
What's going on, Buster?
What's up, my dude?
Oh, man, it's been a busy week already. Man, we're just trying to, keep pushing, get ready for Saturday. I wouldn't say I'm the brains behind it. I'm one of the brains behind it. I've got a great team, a great support system here at OCW. I'm just one cog in the wheel. You know what I mean? I'm just one of the wheels, just keeping this thing going. First off, like, I want to shout out the people who are responsible for making this happen Saturday night, along with myself. Anthony Ludwig, who is, been a big part of this, and a lot of people don't know who he is. I can't reveal his identity, but he's part of the show. People see him a lot. He's been instrumental for this. Ronnie and Shannon Blackshear, without them, this wouldn't happen.
Right.
Not only that, we have had multiple, numerous of the, numbers of the guys have come out. They have showed their support, but also they have put in their time, the effort to get the word out there, to go out and help get sponsors, and sell tickets, like a lot of them have. Jen Hedge, Crystal Parker, Stacy Ludwig, a lot of the sponsorships we've got could not be done without them, especially Jen Hedge, who has been, man, she has spearheaded this monster of getting sponsorships, getting things that we need for the show. She's put in the time and the effort. She didn't have to, but she did. And, and it's right now we're starting to see, everything's starting to pay off. And hopefully Saturday night, we're at that point of everything gets paid off.
Right. Jen, man, she has been promoting this thing like crazy. She's like promoter extraordinaire from what I
really,
see. She
really
is all over it.
Man,
so look, go ahead,
yeah,
Jack. Go ahead.
Man, she has went out. She has been kind of the head over our sponsorship, under me and Anthony, kind of telling her places, and even then she'd go out and find a place. And dude, she has been a godsend. As far, we probably wouldn't have half the sponsorships that we have without her.
Right. And the wrestling company, man, running a wrestling company, it's kind of like raising a child. It takes a village, and you got to have all those people, especially on this level. One person can't do it by themselves, and you guys have put together one of the biggest shows around this area in probably years and years, maybe 10 or 15 years there, JPJ. So look, before we get into the meat of this thing, talk to me a little bit about how this show even came about, man, with all these people.
So I've made it's no secret. Bob Evans is one of my mentors in this business. Not only that, he's one of my, my close friends. We had spoke several months ago about him coming in, doing a seminar for the guys, and then working the show. And it snowballed from there into what it is now. I had the luxury of meeting, Doc Gallows a few years ago in SOAR. We got to talking over the last few years, and then a couple months ago, just out of the blue, it went from, okay, we're bringing Bob in. Let's turn this into an event. Let's turn this into a huge show that hasn't been seen here in a long time.
Right.
So it went from that to me reaching out to Doc. Gallows was really cool. They had the day open, him and Anderson both. So it's like, okay, we got them. Well, Anthony's, spearheaded our women's division, and he was like, well, let's get a women's match. Well, who can we find? And we went after a few people who had just been released by WWE, which we've been in contact with them. So this is the beginning of something that we plan on going further with down the line. But one name kept coming up, and that was Abaddon. I'm very familiar with her, like her work, like that dark, mysterious work she does. And Anthony reached out, we got her. And then I reached out to a couple males that I wanted to kind of be the headliner for the event. There were several that, you know, scheduling conflict or what have you. One decided he was going to re-sign with WWE, which is fine. Wish him all the luck in the world. But then, like I said, we landed on Enzo, real one. Me and Doc got to talking. He was available. He kind of runs with them guys. So it just seemed to be the right fit. Plus, we wanted some names that people knew. We wanted, you know, it's hard, you know, and as a wrestling fan and a fan of guys that are on the independents, it's really hard to go, okay, I really want this guy. He's really good, but are our fans going to know who they are? And I knew when I said I needed a headliner that Enzo, when his name come up, I was like, yes. Instantly, our fans are going to know who he is, know what he did in WWE, know what he's kind of doing on the scene now too. So he was I feel like he's the perfect headliner for this event.
Right. It's a huge lineup, man. And I'm gonna lay it out here. I know full well your booty hole's got to be puckered up tight for this Saturday night and this show, man, because there is a lot on the line for you guys. You took OCW out of Hoxie mainly because the venue is just not big enough for this kind of show. Simple as that. So y'all moved it to Black Rock. Let's talk about that decision. How hard was it to make that decision? Or did you already know when you started booking this show that, hey, we're going to have a bigger venue?
I knew probably about an hour after Doc and Anderson had confirmed and Abaddon had confirmed, you know, which it's funny because it all happened within a day of everybody confirming and having everybody, you know, on, you know, pretty much other than one other female to wrestle Abaddon, we had most of this booked. And so in about an hour's time, it's like, okay, our venue just isn't going to hold that many people. You know, and again, you go, okay, well, logistically, you know, we could have went to the Earl Bell in Jonesboro. That was a talk. We could have got a few at Armory or such, like here at Walnut Ridge. We could have looked at the Armory, but I'm super competitive. I believe in the people that I put around me. I believe in my roster. I believe in all that. So, and I believe in OCW. So I thought, well, let's go somewhere that can hold more than that. Because Armory can hold just, you know, a few hundred more than what we hold here. The Earl Bell could hold right around where the Black Rock Gymnasium could hold. But then I got to thinking, we're a mom and pop organization here. We're a grassroots. We are small town with, you know, big dreams and big goals. So let's keep that feel. Let's go to Black Rock. Let's get the gymnasium there. And, you know, and then the rest is just promote the hell out of this thing.
Right. Y'all done a great job promoting it. And I seen today where Eventbrite is already out of tickets. So the only way they can get tickets now is to contact you guys, right?
Yes. So Eventbrite, we got the notification early this morning that there was no more seats that could be gotten on Eventbrite. So we stopped that. Now we're going strictly through our Cash App or pay at the door. You know, it just and that was an awesome feeling too, because you know when you're a booker and you've been promoting this thing and promoting the hell out of it, you know, to get that message and you know that gives you a little bit of like breathing room. Like, okay, we put in this work. We're starting to see the results of the work. We still got a long way to go until Saturday, but no, man, that was a really awesome feeling this morning to see that, and then now it's like we're already getting phone calls and messages through the Facebook and through Cash App, people getting more tickets. So we're steady, and that's the main thing that I've wanted to always, I've wanted to be in this whole process is as long as we can continue to be steady, we throw little deals out there here and there. And then we kind of started looking at other promotions that do similar bookings and see what they were charging. Because at one point we felt like maybe we did a little bit too much overcharging, and we didn't want to do that. We didn't want to take away the experience for the fans because they had to pay too much. So we started, like I said, adjusting the prices, and then we kind of landed on a good price for probably the last 2 weeks, I'd say. And then that it really took off from there. Buster, did I lose you? Oh, man, what the crap? Where did you go?
What's going on?
Hey, did I lose you, Buster? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know that anybody can even hear us. Here we go. I think we're back now. Give me just a second, dude.
Okay.
And let me get us loaded back up right, so I can see what the heck's going on here. So look, Jack. All right, y'all.
Are we back?
Jack, hold on a minute. I can hear you. You can hear me, I think, but we are froze up as I've ever been frozen. There we go. I'm still froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It keeps like chopping in and out, but
what about now?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you good, but I am froze up. Let me get myself and let me take myself out in just a second.
Okay.
There we go. Hold on. My computer's locking up. I don't know what the hell the deal is. Y'all bear with us. We'll get it figured out. I do know that much. Can you still hear me, Jack?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
All right, here we come. Now everything's starting to load back up. So let me get it situated. There we are. All right, we back going, guys. We are so sorry about that. I don't know what happened to the internet, whatever. We went completely out. I don't know what you guys heard, what you didn't. We're gonna pick up where we left off. So, Jack, let's lay it out there, man. Y'all are in Black Rock. You got the arena. You got a chance to actually make money. But what do you guys really need for this thing to be a success financially? And I mean the break-even number. How many fans do you guys need, do you think?
Oh man, like I think when we put a number to it, early in this thing, 1,500 or right around the 12 to 1,500 range, that would break. That would put us in the green. That would put us over break even. But I think for the most part, we're in the green. I think a show like this, you had to go out and you needed to get them sponsors and bring in, people that want to see entertainment, want to see, I guess for the most part, like give fans and people something other to do,
Right.
because sports isn't, right now basketball season's going on, but that's about it. Football season just ended this, past Sunday. So it's like, man, let's just give them something to do. And I think I'd say the 1,200 range, I think, is what we've narrowed it down to. It might have even been 1,250. That would have put us at breaking even, and put us in the green. So that was the goal. I know as far as my last numbers go, and I'll know for sure probably by Thursday night. I think we're well above the 13 or I think the 1,250 mark. We're well above it already, because we had 900 floor seats, and we are well above that. We've sold out of them. That's where Eventbrite kind of just said, "Hey, we're out of this," and so that's the great part about that one. And then I can't remember my last number on just general admission tickets.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. That's a hell of a number, especially in our area in wrestling the way it is. I want to say EPW was the last company. They were in Mississippi at the Crossroads Arena, and I want to say they had 1,000 paying customers. So hey, that puts you guys at a whole nother level, man, around this area. I mean, where do you go from that, Jack? I mean, you're already, it's a success already, and you ain't finished selling tickets yet. Man, are we looking to see this thing maybe once a year?
So, I mean, I don't want to give too much away right now of what's coming next. We have another event lined up. It'll be summertime before we do this. So this is, and it won't be on the grand scale of this. We've got two names that's already kind of, we've locked in for dates. So we may not go back to the Black Rock Gym for that, but we will go somewhere bigger again. But if we're talking like on this scale, I'd like to do it once a year. If we can get the available talent, yes, absolutely. I'd like to do this once a year.
Man, that'd be a big deal, man. Here's the thing. If this one's already done this good, I don't see how it couldn't grow year after year, man. I mean, and that's a big feather in your cap, being the guy who books and promotes this show. That's a big deal. That's a giant step up from promoting Hoxie every Saturday night. This is a whole nother level of promotion right there, and putting fans in the building, man. It's really a cool thing, Jack.
Well, I mean, what is our business about? Our business is about entertaining the fans, putting asses in seats.
That's right.
So I think sometimes where we get off on this weird path of this independent wrestling is, our fans, when you start thinking, oh, it's just an independent wrestling show, they're not wanting to come to that. They're, and when I say not our fans, but the general public, you're going to get different guys at each independent show. And my whole goal is, well, first and foremost, I've been a big believer in Arkansas wrestling. Right. I think we have an abundance of talent in this state that I would like to be seen. Well, I'm the booker at OCW, so I want the guys that work for me here at OCW, I want them to be seen.
Right.
Well, how can they do that? We have continuously been raising our attendance here at the arena. Now, let's put this big show on. Let's let everybody see us. And
that's right.
We've made major steps in that. Even without this big show, we've brought in Walker Stewart, who's, commentator for New Japan. We're working with his Gold Standard production company. They're coming in and filming our events, or filming our weekly shows and putting them on YouTube for us. So, and he's doing the commentary. You know, we've changed our lighting, we've changed our arena, we've changed even the locker room. We're adding a women's division. We're constantly adding new talent coming in. That way we can keep progressing the way we want to progress. The same way, that EPW did years ago.
Right.
When Neil Taylor walked in there, yeah, they were having large crowds. But when Neil Taylor took over, it becomes something completely different. And that's my goal. First and foremost, I use my contacts that I've had in the business, and brung in different guys that this fan base has not seen. Then work to that, and then it's like, okay, now let's go bigger. Did we think when we first started talking about this that it was going to be this big? No, originally it was just going to be Bob Evans. Well, I like to roll the dice a little bit and say, okay, well, we got Bob coming in. Let's see how big we can make this. And that's what we've done. And then it, like I said, it's blew up. Like it's become an animal all of its own. And then I've got a inbox full in our Facebook page of wrestlers that either want to be on the 14th or they want to come in past that.
Right.
So this thing is, and I believe these big benefit or the benefit of these bigger shows is they help long term.
They open your products up to a wider audience, because there's a lot of people that's going to come to this show in Black Rock that may not even know about wrestling in Hoxie right now. And that's just the honest truth. They may not even know about OCW, but after the 14th, they will definitely know about OCW, and they'll know where to come find them if they want to come back and see more wrestling. So it's huge, and you said it right there. I think this is something that especially all young wrestlers, most older wrestlers that's been in the business a while know, it's all about connections. That's what makes the wrestling business roll, is the connections. And dude, look, we got a huge card. We got a bunch of promos. We've got these graphics. So you want to go on and get into this thing?
Yeah, let's get into it, man. That's the heart of it. I want the fans to know what they're going to get to see. When they come Saturday. I mean, I am proud of everybody that's been involved. Like, right there, Brandon Espinoza versus Prestigious P. I know a lot of people want to kind of bash P.
Right.
But, man, the kid is just hungry. He wants to learn. He wants to get better. And he wants to just get his name out there. Well, he caught the eye of Espinoza. SB laid this request down. And like I said, cut that cool promo yesterday. That's got, I think already we're at, 10,000 views on it already, or close to it. And, Prestigious P messaged me last night and he said, let's get it. Let's do this. And so that's what I'm excited about. Like, he's not scared of the moment.
And that's the one thing I love about P more than anything. He's fearless. Whether it be wrestling in the ring, this kid does music too. Mm-hmm. And he's got some good music. That's the thing. He needs to let more people hear his music. He's got passion with it and everything. The Dirty Dozens. I've got him coming on the Dirty Dozens February 22nd going against Dorian. Hell of a matchup. P didn't flinch one bit. He said, hell yeah, I'm in. And that's what I love about this kid. And Brandon, I feel like this is, honestly, now I know you and P, y'all tangled a week or two ago, but I feel like, honestly, this is the test right here for P. If he can he ain't even got to get by Brandon. If he can go in there, kill it with Brandon, I feel like, man, that might put P on the right trajectory in the business around our area, because he does catch a lot of heat. Look, some of it's warranted, some of it ain't. A lot of it's not.
Right. No, and I would 100% agree. Years ago, and I don't tell a lot of people this, he knows this because we're we're still close. Years ago, Brandon Espinoza was the first test for me. I worked him at RSWF for Soul Taker in Memphis. We went to a 15-minute time limit draw, and I earned his respect. That's a guy that had been around. He'd been a journeyman at that time. So I earned his respect. And then, after that, like, business really started picking up for me.
Right. And I don't have no idea what order these matches in. I'm just pulling them up in the order I thought they might go in. So, this match may not be the first match. That's just where we pulled it up. But both of these guys had some words. So let's listen to what these guys had to say.
Legacy. Legacy is something handed down from the past, like money, tradition, or the lasting impact of a person's life, work, or historical events. If you are going to live, leave a legacy. Make a mark on the world that can't be erased. Because it is up to us to live based on the legacy that was left behind. And to leave our own that is worthy of our children. A legacy is not what you did for yourself, but what you did for others. We are the good. We are the bad. We are the brutal. We are the real legacy. Now that's prestigious. Join us.
Jack, here's the thing. I think that is the perfect promo for this matchup, because that right there is what P wants. P wants to build a legacy. Right. He does. He's a young man. He's got a new family, and he wants to build a legacy for himself and his children, something they can look back on and say, hey, my dad did this. I think it's a hell of a matchup. And with Dysfunction having something to say, P wasn't going to let that go without getting his cents worth in. So let's hear what P had to say about this situation.
Okay. I got to come here for a second. I'm going to be real. It's crazy to be me. Brandon Espinoza, when you said my name, I was surprised, but not in a bad way. Not out of fear. But because when someone like you, the leader of Dysfunction, talks about legacy and points it at me, you realize just how big that moment is. And I won't shy away from it at all. This is the biggest opportunity of my career. Legacy isn't something that just shows up one day, and prestige isn't something you demand, Brandon. They're built when you keep showing up, when you keep believing even when nobody else does. You lead a group called Dysfunction, and I understand that word more than you think. I've lived through dysfunction, Brandon. I fought my way out of doubt, out of being overlooked, and out of being told I wasn't enough. That's why when you said my name, I didn't hear an insult and I didn't hear a threat. I heard respect. Because here's the difference. Dysfunction is where people get stuck. Prestige is how you move forward. Legacy isn't about how loud you are, how many people stand behind you. It is about the people you inspire to stand on their own 2 feet. And yeah, you calling me out changes everything. It puts me in a spotlight I've never had before, and I am grateful for it, because moments like this don't come, and I'm not wasting mine. So Brandon, if this is about legacy, then let's be clear. When the chaos fades, when the group disappears, when the noise dies down, I'll be standing head high, name intact, and that is not dysfunction. That is prestigious. Okay.
Jack, man, the kid, hey, here lately, he's cut some of the best promos I've ever seen him cut in his life.
I agree.
He cut one a couple of weeks ago, long promo, and it was good, man. It got everybody's attention. And that's the thing. This kid has passion. He believes in what he's saying. And if he can actually pull a win off Saturday night, that will be the first brick in his legacy, I believe. Jack, what's your thoughts on this matchup, man?
Well, I think it is a building block for what I've said about Prestigious P for about 6 months to a year now. I've said the kid, whenever that light bulb hits, and we've all had that moment, but when that light bulb hits, we got it. We understand what this business is all about. And this is building that foundation to get to that point, because whenever that happens for him, he's going to be dangerous. He's going to be, he's going to be one of those guys that you cannot miss. And because he can already talk, he can already, he can already get you to feel a certain type of way, whether it's, get you to hate him or get you to love him. Right there, that was the perfect promo for him for this matchup. And so I believe, win, lose, or draw for, Prestigious P, this is that foundation moment. And that's why this is one of the easier, bookings I've had, like where it's like, okay, yeah, like this makes sense. This is a young up and coming kid. You got your journeyman vet over here that, knows every ins and outs of this business that there is. So this is perfect. It's that youth versus, experience. And I can tell you, after being in the ring with both of them and, being in the ring with Espinosa more than P, but I can tell you, like, you grow up real fast working Espinosa.
Right.
Because, his pacing of the match is going to be faster than probably P's normal is used to. But I know, from talking to P, he's been hitting the gym, he's been getting his cardio up, so I'm hoping it's where it needs to be Saturday night for, a guy like Brandon Espinosa, because I can promise you, you're going to be put through the ringer with Espinosa.
Yeah, I feel like this is the match. P's going to have to really up his game in this matchup. And if he's able to do that, man, the sky's the limits for this kid, man. He's young. And I give you credit, Jack, because here's the thing. There are a ton of promoters that would not have booked him in this matchup. A ton of them. And you take a chance. You're taking a chance on this young man, and I feel like it's going to really pay off in the end, Jack.
I believe so, and that's the biggest thing. Like I've always, I've seen the kid, and again, I didn't feel like where he is now. I didn't feel like he was there 6 months ago.
Right.
I felt like he got in his own way. Now he's not getting in his own way. He's learning. He's evolving. He's understanding what we do. And so a kid like that, you can take a chance on and go, hey, I'm giving you the platform. You go out there, you build this foundation that's going to be what becomes your career. And Espinosa, I believe, is the perfect opponent for that. He's a guy that, like I said, he's been around. He knows the ins and outs of this business. He's a guy that knows how to, as a heel, for Prestigious P to now be in the, the position and the captain's chair of being a babyface. Espinosa is the right person that's going to invoke a reaction from the crowd that's going to help elevate P to being a bigger babyface.
Yeah, it's a hell of a matchup. Look, we're going to pull these guys down, and we're going to pull the next one up. Like I said, these aren't in any order. You got Kyle King versus Logan Maverick, man. And this is another interesting matchup to me, Jack. So I'm going to let you take the floor. You booked it. Why'd you book this matchup, man?
Okay, so I don't know how familiar people are with Kyle King. He's a guy that I met about 10 years ago, maybe a little less than that, maybe 8 years ago, in Salina, Kansas, working for XWE, Billy Simmons's promotion. And when I met him, he was bald-headed, but he had the horseshoe, kind of like I do when I let my hair grow out a little too much.
He had the George Jefferson.
Yes, he had the horseshoe, and it come down into, just some like mutton chops into the mustache. And then he's in great shape, went out there and had one of the most entertaining matches that I'd watched. And still to this day, one of the most entertaining matches that I'd watched. And then so for the next 8 to 10 years, every so often I'd be at a show and there'd be Kyle King. And then I'd have to go watch the match, and it'd be the most entertaining match on the card. And then the next place, same thing. And so that just stuck in the back of my head. And it's like, look, if I ever can get into an opportunity where I can bring somebody that our fans have never seen, but I know they will enjoy, I'm going to do that. And then on the flip side of that, you have Logan Maverick, son of Werewolf Bruce McGowan, my nephew.
Right.
He is a little more advanced at finding his way than P is, but he's laying his own foundation of what his career is going to look like. And I think that Kyle King is also a journeyman guy that's been around, done a lot of cool things in this business. And that is, again, another guy that can elevate Logan Maverick. Win, lose, or draw. It doesn't matter. He's going to elevate Logan, and Logan, Logan being a member of our roster only benefits from it. Well, then who else benefits from it? The fans benefit from it.
Right.
Because now you're getting another level, because he's going to have to go to another level with Kyle King. Kyle sent me, 3 or 4 promo pics. I thought that promo pic kind of went with our Valentine's Day, our theme, and but that's who he is. Like, he's a character. I feel like our fans are either going to love him or hate him, and either way, he doesn't care, because it's just going to be one of those. He's the guy that I can't wait to get back past Saturday night and get him in our arena. But I'm looking forward to Saturday night. I'm looking forward to this matchup probably more than almost any of the other matchups.
Right. I was going to talk to you about that situation. I'll be honest with you. I really know very little to anything about Kyle King. He looks like he's in shape. You've known him a while, so you know what he can do, what he can't do. You know where he's been, where he ain't been. Logan Maverick, what's he been working now? About 2 years, maybe?
Logan, 2, 3 now, I believe. I had a hand on training Logan. Me and Werewolf both, and then David, has come on, or Draven Morrow has come on and helped. And Logan's just one of those guys, he's become, you see him at a show, he gets in the ring, he works out with anybody in the ring, and he's just getting better. Every match I watch him, he's getting better.
Yeah, he's come a long way since he first started. I remember seeing him a couple of years ago, maybe even a little longer than that, like you said. And honestly, he wasn't bad then, but he's just young and super green at the time. He's come a long way. He's kind of had a couple of different incarnations. If I remember right, it wasn't a year or so ago, he came out and he had wings, didn't he?
Yeah. I think that was maybe a little over a year ago. Yeah. And again, so I know he's done a little bit with the Modern Day Monsters. He's had a part in them. But I think this Logan Maverick, I think this is what kind of suits him. I think this is you can have a little edge with this character more than you can if you're, like a monster type or something like that. Like, he's got a little more edge to him. So, he's a very versatile worker, where he can go either way. He can be a baby face, or he can be a heel. And I really enjoy watching where the growth of Logan Maverick. I mean, it's been, he's had some bumps in the road, but he's a kid. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove himself, and Saturday night is another way of doing that. We've had some long talks about Kyle and this match has been booked. Actually, I believe this was probably the 3rd or 4th match that was booked. from the jump. And Logan is known, hey, this is what's going to happen, come Valentine's Day. And he's been just, he's ready. Like, and I get to watch him, every week here that he's here, and he's, again, progressing. And so these are the matches of, okay, I'm progressing, but now I want to test myself. And you need these tests. You need these guys that's been around, that's wrestled some of the bigger names in the world, and, just to see if you're on that level.
Right. And being a second generation guy, man, that's a lot of pressure on a young wrestler in itself. If your dad was a wrestler, your mom, whoever, your older brother, man, you already come in the business and people have certain expectations of you. And that's a lot of pressure. And like I said, I've watched this kid evolve over the last couple of years, man. He seems to always be improving, not just in the ring, but his psychology and his persona. Like we're all, when we first start, nobody really lands on who they're going to be in the end. We all kind of search for who we are. And like I said, we've seen him go through a couple of different incarnations, but I'm like you, I think this right here, I think this is something he can land on and stay on for a while and really build some momentum with right here, man.
Right.
And like you said, you're pretty much his uncle. So he ain't just got his daddy he ain't got to keep up that for his dad. He's got to do this for you too, man. It's a lot of pressure on a young man.
And it is. And so, but I think that Logan, I think he does better under pressure. He's had some bigger matches. He's got to do some stuff, that I look back and maybe because of, who his dad is, maybe because, who I am, he's got to do some bigger stuff, early on in his career that others didn't get until they're 6-7 years into the business. But every time we've put him in that situation, or every time we put him in that position, he's thrived. He's done good. Well, then what you get is you do good over here. Well, then you come back on, where it's a smaller show and you're wrestling, Joe over here, who's, takes it and looks at it like it's a hobby.
Right.
And you kind of, and I guess, me and you've probably seen it, 1,000 times. You see guys that just, you wrestle really good when the stakes are high, but then when you're just kind of at a smaller show, and you're wrestling somebody you feel like is a nobody, you just kind of drop down to their level. Well, Logan now is getting to a point where he's elevating even the younger guys underneath him. They're coming up. Well, then, okay, now let's test you, because I always believe it. I want to wrestle guys that are, I want to wrestle guys that are above me, same level, and below me. I want to wrestle if I could in a week's time or a weekend or a month's time, wrestle somebody on a Friday night that's above me or, same level or below me. And then the next night, somebody on the same level or above, or, however, but all three levels, like I want to wrestle them guys because I continue to want to improve even as myself, but I want to wrestle guys that are on my level, because then you go out and you can have fun. When you got guys that are on your level, you go out there and have a blast because you know what to expect. You know where you're going to you're going to be able to work the crowd really well. And then guys below you, you're elevating them and bringing them up to you. Well, Logan, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was just fixing to say that when you're wrestling guys above you, you're trying to wrestle up to their level, prove you can do it. When you're wrestling guys equal to you, you're out there trying to have the best possible match. You're trying to blow the roof off the building. And when you're wrestling guys below you, it's your job to try to elevate these guys, to bring them up to your level, leave them better than they were when you found them. And you hit the nail on the head right there, man. I agree 100% on that.
And I think Logan's at that crossroads now of where he's becoming that wrestler that can wrestle guys below him, bring them up, wrestle guys at the same level, have great matches, and doesn't shy away from the moment of wrestling somebody above him. And that's what this is Saturday night. He's going to rise. I believe wholeheartedly that this could very well be match of the night Saturday night.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's going to be, like I said, I don't know a lot about Kyle King. I want to say I've seen him work on YouTube, seen a couple of his matches, but I don't know a lot about him. I've been following Logan, like I said, pretty much since he started.
Right.
When I catch him, when he's doing something that gets on YouTube or something, and I mean, he really evolved a lot. And I think this is the same matchup that P's kind of having with Brandon.
Yep.
This is where Logan gets to level up. I mean, it's as simple as that. He's either going to rise to the occasion or he's not. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, as a booker, you roll the dice, but also you have to have faith in the guys that you're putting in these positions that, hey, I'm making this match because I believe that you're going to go out there, because on the 21st, Prestigious P's at OCW. Brandon Espinosa is on the road.
Right.
So
same thing with Logan Maverick. He's back at OCW. Kyle King's going to be somewhere else.
Right. And that's the biggest, and then there's this match.
Look, this one I'm seriously interested in. We all know about Abaddon. Abaddon, she's got a big social media presence, a big Facebook presence. I see her putting posts out almost daily, outfit of the day and stuff like that. But that's what you got to do to keep your name out there, keep yourself out there. Kennedy Ryan, I know absolutely nothing about, but she cut a hell of a promo that impressed me. So Jack, talk to me about booking this match, man. We all know where Abaddon's from. Talk to me about finding Kennedy Ryan to face off against Abaddon.
All right. Well, I want to talk about this match briefly because I had a different idea in this match. And then I got the promo yesterday. Like you see the promo pic, you see, all white besides the pink shades in Kennedy Ryan. And then you see the dark, with the bright green and the paint in Abaddon, and you're like, okay, so Kennedy Ryan, white meat baby face, Abaddon, the monster.
Right.
And then I get this promo from Kennedy yesterday, and I go, oh, man, like you spun that right on its head of where it's like you cut a promo and I got that mean girl vibe right off the bat.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh my God. Like, that line when they said, when she says that The Walking Dead is done, I'm like, okay, I'm hooked. So what I know of Kennedy Ryan is, she's done some work with OVW. When I was there, I would say she hadn't been in the business very long. I've kind of kept up with her here and there, watching, some stuff online. She had reached out to the page, was looking to get booked, and I already had somebody for Abaddon. They had an opportunity to do something bigger, which and I'm not going to say the girl's name, but like I can't wait to find out how she does this weekend. And then we kind of spoke to a couple other females about coming in, maybe doing a 4-way. But I kept going back to and watching matches of Kennedy Ryan, and I was like, man, I think this could be a matchup. And then we reached out. I didn't know she was already going to be in Arkansas this weekend, but that I guess that worked out for us even more. But yeah, and she did not shy away. As soon as we told her who she was going to be facing, all right, what do you need? We need a promo. Okay, cool. Never asked me what she wanted her to say in the promo. I kind of left that to her, and like I said, I got this promo yesterday, and I'm like, okay, like I know where to go with this match. I know what story we're telling. We got Abaddon the Monster, who she is, and Abaddon is awesome. Like I cannot. There's not much I've seen of Abaddon that I haven't loved. But then you got Kennedy Ryan over here, who our crowd doesn't know. They know nothing about her, but they know now that when she cut that promo, it's just, hey, she's a mean girl.
Let's check his promo out, and then I want to talk about this matchup once we do, because this promo, man, I thought I was highly impressed.
Hey, Deebs, listen. February 14th, Kennedy Ryan, the wrestling's richest experience, is about to break a lot of hearts when I put the 1, 2, 3 down on Abaddon. I mean, babes, like, come on. Walking Dead is canceled. The zombie thing, overrated. Okay, you know what's not overrated? Wrestling's richest experience, the beauty, the glam, the sparkle of Kennedy Ryan. And Valentine's Day, February 14th in Black Rock, Arkansas, Out of Control Wrestling. Everyone will see why I am the best there is in indie wrestling.
Jack, man, she's got charisma. She can talk, and she's got. I feel like she's got that it factor. I've never seen her in the ring, but I feel like she's got that it factor. I love the attitude, man. I was like you. I was blown away when I seen her promo, especially not ever seeing her on anything else. I had no idea who she was. I want to see more of Kennedy Ryan, man. I feel like this is a hell of a matchup, and Abaddon's had a lot of national television exposure. So she's got the name. It's a big deal. This is a big matchup for Kennedy Ryan. If she can knock Abaddon off, that's going to push her up the totem pole, without a doubt, man.
Yeah, it's another one of those matchups where you've got Abaddon, who's been all over the world now doing her thing, and then you got Kennedy Ryan, who is still young in the business, but is. I don't want to say finding her way, because after that promo yesterday, I think she's found it. She is as, I don't know. I'm intrigued now. Like, not that I wasn't already by this matchup, but when you kind of have it in your head of, I knew I was going to get a promo, and I was like, okay, I bet I get this white meat babyface promo, where, love is love, and all that stuff. I was not expecting what I got yesterday. When I got it, I was like, oh man, like this is better than even I thought it was going to be. And I don't know. So there's a difference between watching people on YouTube wrestle. I look forward more to seeing this in person, because if she carries that attitude that she had in that promo
right
into the ring, oh man, it's going to be a very, very good matchup, because we already know what Abaddon can do. We already know. And so I want to see a little more of that. If you carry that promo into the ring, with the attitude, it's going to be one of those that I think the crowd's gonna root for Abaddon to murder, Kennedy Ryan.
I was just fixing to ask you that, Jack. Obviously, if you were a casual person and you looked at this flyer right here, I think 99% of people would say Abaddon's the bad guy.
Yes.
Kennedy Ryan is the good guy.
Yes.
But I think that promo totally flipped that whole script. I don't know what you saw when you booked this or had in mind, but I feel like if Abaddon was the heel, now there might be a chance. I'm like you. I think Kennedy Ryan is going to get her ass booed off, and I think it's going to, in turn, get Abaddon cheered out of the arena, man.
I think so, too, and that is not anywhere near what I had in mind. I had it the opposite way. I had it the way you look at it on the flyer. I thought, okay, all white over here. She looks like a baby face. She's somebody the crowd can get behind. Over here, you have Abaddon, who I think most of the crowd's going to kind of be a little like reserve around Abaddon. But then I was like, well, after the promo, I was like, nope, it's going to be the opposite. I can feel it. Like, I believe that Kennedy Ryan, when she walks out, and I mean, the first hand gesture she makes, the first thing she says out of her mouth, I think instantly they're going to try to boo her out of the building, and then Abaddon's going to get cheered. And I mean, this may be the first match I've ever can look at and go, man, if the monster actually kills the girl, they may cheer for that.
Right. And look, OCW is working on their women's division. Is this y'all's first women's match, or have y'all had some women matches before?
Well, we've been trying to slowly, bring in women. We brought in Vera Lestrange a couple weeks ago. Her opponent had to cancel. And then we had Jennifer Justice supposed to come in and work Vera with all the snow and ice we had. We had to go ahead and cancel that. This will be the first woman-on-woman match that we've had in over a year. But this will be the first this will be the first female match that the crowd has seen that hasn't been like a Allie Savage or a Holly Havoc. It's going to be like two women they haven't seen. And I honestly, that's a testament to Anthony Ludwig. He was the one that, he first went after Abaddon, got her. And then when Kennedy Ryan kept coming up, he was like, man, there's something about her. There's something about her. And I kept watching her videos. And I got this one wrong. I got the booking of this match wrong. But it's one of those good wrongs. Like I got it, but I'm so glad I got it wrong, because if I would have got it right, I wouldn't have got that promo I got yesterday. And I don't know, that promo that I got yesterday, I was like, okay, it gave me the Mean Girl vibes. That's somebody that you could sell tickets for. That the crowd's going to come in and want to see her get her ass beat every show. And I am grateful for getting this wrong.
Here's the thing about this match. Abaddon she's an attraction. She's someone you want to bring in for a few weeks at a time if you're going to do an angle with her, and then she moves on to somewhere else. Kennedy Ryan, man, I'd love to have this girl on my roster on a regular basis all the time. I just see there's so many different directions you could take this girl. And man, like you say, the Mean Girl, in this, she's kind of slightly got a Lindsay Lohan little bit of look right there.
Right.
And there's just, I know your mind's got to be going crazy with different ideas that you could do with this girl here. Man, you could do all kind of things with her. And here's the thing. She gets over huge as a baby face. As a heel. When the time's right, she's gonna be a huge baby face, man.
Right.
I think it's a hell of a matchup. I think it's a great matchup to really kick off OCW's women's division in a sense, man.
And I think this is one of those matchups that you have where if we get what we got in that promo, which I guarantee we're going to, I think that you're going to see other females see this, and they're going to want to come in.
Right.
Because
I do too.
if you've got a good heel, the baby faces will come because they know what happens. If you got a good heel that is got so much heat, it doesn't matter what baby face you bring in, but it's gonna elevate them to being bigger baby faces.
Yeah,
and
it'll make their job so much easier, man. So much easier.
Yeah, and like I said, like I'm happy I got this wrong. I look forward to the match and seeing Kennedy Ryan, how she brings that attitude from the promo into the match, because I think it's going to be one of those that's going to grab the crowd really fast, and it's going to I think it'll elevate her, but it also is going to elevate OCW.
Oh yeah, I can see that, man. Yeah, I'm highly interested. After that promo, I thought, man, this girl's got something there. She's got that attitude, and I'm like you. If that attitude follows her in the ring, the job's done already, man. At that point, man, she just got to live up to that promo, live up to that attitude right there.
Right.
Once she steps in the ring, and shit, man, it's easy going after that. I think she's gonna make Abaddon's job a whole lot easier.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I think that's one of those deals, like when you've got a good heel, the matches are 10 times easier, but you get way more involvement with the crowd.
Right. So look, I didn't know that we got 3 matches left that I've got graphics for. I didn't know where this one landed, so we're doing it right now. This is a big time matchup. The Modern Day Monsters are fresh off of beating the Canines for those OCW tag team titles. And now they got to face the Good Brothers. So talk to me about the booking of this match, man. Is this the match you wanted, or did these guys winning the titles, did they kind of insert themselves into this match?
So originally, I'm not even going to lie. I had conflict of booking with this match in myself. We already had the Monsters coming in to work the Canines, and so when we booked the Good Brothers, it was originally, I was like, okay, we could have a triple threat, we could do some work with all 3 tag teams, and I think it would be good. And then we kind of settled upon doing if the Modern Day Monsters beat the Canines, it'll be them facing off with the Good Brothers. Now, what you don't know is the Canines are pissed. They not only lost their titles, they lost the opportunity to wrestle the Good Brothers. So, I don't know where their feelings are or where they lie right now as far as how they're feeling, but at one point I had the Modern Day Monsters in mind to be a part of this match along with the Canines.
So this could have been a triple threat then.
Could have been. It could have been, and again, I don't want to speak on future stuff. We got some future stuff in the works, and I mean, some of it will unravel Saturday night, and some fans, or the casual fans won't get it, but the hardcore fans are going to be, I understand it. And
right. And the Modern Day Monsters, they're along the same vein as Abaddon. Honestly, they're an attraction. Here's the thing. I seen David make a post a couple of weeks ago about, is it better to be, like a lot of people tell them they can't use them because they're more of an attraction than a guy on the card. And look, here's the thing. It's better to be an attraction than it is to be a guy on the card. Here's the thing about being an attraction. You can go somewhere 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, then you can move on to the next place. Do it all over again. Being an attraction is not a bad thing at all. And these guys have made themselves an attraction, the modern day monsters, big in Memphis wrestling. They work all over the place. They actually have a promo. Let's check this promo out, Jack.
You know, Morrow, week in and week out, we faced great opponents in each city that we bring our special particular set of skills to. We faced some amazing opponents, but you know who we've never faced? Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about, Wolfie. I know exactly. So in Black Rock on the 14th, they've announced that we've got the Good Brothers, and man, I have watched these guys, oh my Lord, all over the world. They have proven that they are one of the best ever do it. Here's the thing, you're coming to our neck of the woods, boys. We are not just called modern day monsters for no reason, because we are here to maul them all.
Man, the modern day monsters, the new OCW tag team champions, these are big guys. Carl Anderson's probably going to be the smallest guy in this match, and he's not a small guy either. Doc Gallows, I mean, what, 6'7", something like that, 6'8", maybe.
Yeah.
Look, man, Morrow, he's what? He's got to be 6'5".
Yeah,
Bruce is 6'1", 6'2". Big guys. Before we even really get into this matchup, I want to ask you one thing. You and Bruce, man, y'all been there, done that, beer 30 for a long time. How does it make you feel? What do you think about when you see Bruce in his incarnation now, man?
I'm proud. I get asked about beer 30. Probably more than any other wrestling question I get. Man, I am, me and David started close to the same time in wrestling. And then, Bruce being my tag partner, being the guy that I travel the roads with, my brother, and all that stuff. Like dude, I couldn't be more proud of Bruce. I couldn't be more proud of the modern day monsters. This matchup, this match means a lot to me. I see two guys that I've known since, day ones, and when I say day one, Bruce was there the very first day I started training. David was here the very first match I had here at OCW. So they're both day oneers. And to see what they're doing now, to see Bruce, I seen this out of Bruce as Beer 30, as we kind of as we kind of weaved closer to the end. He was starting to, kind of get into that werewolf character, because he was already called the werewolf during Beer 30, but he started kind of diving into it a little more. And I seen it coming, and, and I was going into my JPJ direction of kind of how I, kind of what I landed on and, who I am. But I could not be more proud of both of these guys and what they've done, what they've been doing. I think they're two guys that go unrecognized sometimes, and they deserve a match like this. And I'm not saying that the Canines don't. If we're talking wrestling, they got to, they dropped the ball and got beat. That's all I can say there. But you got two guys that are the very example of what Arkansas wrestling is. They are the guys that I've watched go in, that every young talent goes to, ask them to watch their match, ask them to help them with their gimmick. How can I make my gimmick better? And they are them locker room leaders that haven't always got the recognition they deserve. And this match right here is that recognition. You get to wrestle two guys who have held belts in every major promotion they've ever been in. You've got two guys right here that have traveled the world and done everything and anything in this business that you can do. Right. They've been part of, one of the coolest brands in the last, 15 years, being the Bullet Club, that we looked at as being our NWO of the independents for a long time, even though they were,
right,
New Japan, but still, like, we were wearing the shirts, we were going out and buying it and doing things like that. Well, now you have, the guys in Arkansas wrestling that have traveled to every promotion around here in the state of Arkansas. They're on Memphis Wrestling. They've been doing this, but they're helping guys. They deserve their flowers, and that's exactly what this match is. Win, lose, or draw. This is giving the flowers to, the modern day monsters.
Yeah, both talented guys, man. Bruce can work his ass off, and Morrow, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, he's a hidden gem. That dude, for his size and the way he looks, man, he can do all kind of stuff, man. Yep. He can fly when he wants to. Man, back years ago in ASWF, he had this gimmick called Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Dude, one of my favorite, and that's at a time where I was not watching local independent wrestling because it was kind of stagnant. But at that time, ASWF had some creative stuff going on. And I'm flipping through YouTube one day, and I see this guy called Cataclysm. And on the surface, he's ASWF's Kane. But, man, after watching him, that dude could work. He could do all kind of stuff. Both of these guys are super talented. I know David, he talks about imposter syndrome all the time. And I think we all deal with that to a certain extent. But I want to put it out there right now to David. You ain't got to worry about imposter syndrome. You are not an imposter. Dude is super talented, man. I love that Cataclysm gimmick. And I seen something a few weeks ago where he was doing some slingshot shit in from the outside of the apron into the ring. Maybe it was the Eddie Guerrero thing. I don't remember exactly. But man, both of these guys are large guys. They can really work their ass off. And you're right. They deserve this match. And this is a win-win match for OCW. Here's the deal. If the modern day monsters can knock off the Good Brothers and retain those OCW tag team titles, man, that's huge for OCW. You just beat one of the biggest, baddest teams anywhere in the world. Flip that script. If the Good Brothers walk out Saturday night as the new OCW tag team champions, man, they're going to be taking these OCW tag titles all across the country and the world. OCW and the fans, no matter what happens in this match, I feel like OCW and the fans are the winners in this one.
Yes. And again, that's, you couldn't have said it any better than I could. That was exactly the way I looked at this match. If the modern day monsters beat the Good Brothers, that's the shot in the ass for, Morrow and, Bruce. Hey guys, y'all are on that level. y'all just beat a tag team that's been all over the world. If the
Right.
Good Brothers are to win, now they're going to take these around the world, but also they're going to come back. They have to come back and defend them. So, that's, you look at it two ways. Either one, it's a win-win.
It's going to elevate OCW. No matter how this plays out, it's going to elevate OCW.
Right, absolutely, and that's the goal. That's what we're doing. We're, this card has been strategically laid out. Besides the Abaddon and Kennedy Ryan, I've got, I've put a lot of thought and effort, and and not all the matches are out there yet. More will be released tonight, even tonight. But yeah, I mean, it's all a win for OCW.
There you go. And in this matchup, man, this is a triple threat for the OCW Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Garth Mahoney. And we're going to talk about, before we end this program, I got some things I want to talk to you about Garth and some things that's been going on at OCW, been happening. But Garth's got to defend that title against Brutal Bob Evans. Long-time veteran, been there, done that. You name it, he's done it. Mm-hmm. And Austin Everest. Look, Austin Everest is one of the young guys, I believe, with unlimited potential, man. Every time I see him, he's better and better. And Jack, I don't know if you've seen him a few years ago. When I first seen him, he was probably, I'd say 75 pounds heavier, maybe a little more than that. He had already lost a bunch of weight. He was kind of flabby, had a lot of loose skin. And man, this man right here has really not only changed his work, he went and spent some time with Dr. Tom Pritchard at the Jacob Pritchard Wrestling Academy. And man, I feel like that lit a fire under his ass, because he has done nothing but get in better shape and improve in the ring, and his promos, everything is getting better and better. He's a dangerous young man.
Oh man. So let's start with Bob, and then we'll work our way down to the guys. I'll end with talking about Garth. So I'll start with Bob. Bob has been, I don't think anybody talks about his wrestling career enough. They talk about what he's done outside of the in-ring, the seminars, the podcasts that he's done, the internet stuff that he's done, like helping other wrestlers get better. He's had a 30-year wrestling career. He's been all over the world. He's done this. He's, was a big instrument in Ring of Honor and in Ring of Honor's heyday. So I don't think his in-ring gets talked about enough. He is very, very talented. Both these guys are going to have to work their ass off. And because I can promise you, Bob's going to put both of them through the ringer.
Right.
But not only that, this is a match where the knowledge that Bob Evans has, that he has passed on to wrestler after wrestler after wrestler, they get that firsthand knowledge. They get to get in the ring with him. So for a guy like Everest, who's went and done, the Pritchard School and learned from Dr. Tom, this is just another building block for that kid, which the sky is the limit for him. Like a man, tall, big, strong, knows how to be a big guy, works like a big guy. You're not going to see him going out there doing, a 450 or attempted or a moonsault or anything like that. He's going to give you that old school big man vibes, and he's going to go out there and there's not too many times where I can watch a match that he's in where I go, man, why did he do that?
Right.
And we see that a lot. We see guys that's been doing this, 20 years, and you go, man, why did he do that? It's not very often I do that with Austin Everest. He knows his shit.
His psychology changed from before he went to Dr. Tom to when he come back. the biggest change I could see in this kid was his work ethic, and his psychology to wrestling was different when he came back from there. And man, he's just, I mean, this dude really, he's one of the ones that we can mark out that, hey, there's a good chance in 5 years this kid will be on a national stage somewhere if he keeps his trajectory.
Absolutely. And the thing about him is he's hungry. He wants to travel. He wants to learn. He wants to get better. He continues to get better, and he keeps pushing himself. And that's the thing. I think sometimes, when you get there and you kind of, and I don't want to say he's stalled, because he's not, because he's working SICW. He's doing things. He's went and worked OVW, but you get to a point where maybe your career's not going where it wants to go yet. And
as fast as you want it to go,
Yes, and you stall out. He's not hit that stall. He just continues to double down and work harder and harder and harder. And that's, again, I've been around the kid. He's continues to get better. I can't say enough good things about him. I think him and Garth, one-on-one would have had a phenomenal match, but you add Brutal Bob in there, and this is going to be one that I don't know that OCW fans will forget this match right here.
Yeah, this is a learning experience for Garth and Austin. There's no doubt about that. If either one of these guys can come out on top with Brutal Bob in this match, that's a huge feather in their cap, man.
Right. And then so you go to Garth. Garth is, I have tried to take my, step back and not be as much in front of the fans with, OCW. Now I have been here lately, building for the show, and, and I'll defend the UWA heavyweight title, but, Garth is the face of this company. Garth is the guy that when he goes out there, the crowd's behind him. They believe in him. They relate to him. He's from where I seen him start to where he is now. He's, night and day different. He continues to get better. He continues to learn. He's become a helper, a mentor to the younger guys, the trainees. He's helping train these guys, taking the knowledge that Ricky Kennedy gave him, even though Ricky can kiss my ass, and I hope he's listening. But he's taking that knowledge, that Ricky taught him, and he's teaching it to these guys. I just hope he doesn't, teach them how to sneak up behind people and try to, beat them up from behind.
Right, and we're going to talk about Ricky Kennedy and APW in just a few seconds, but Garth had some words for Austin and Brutal Bob, and then Austin Everest had some words for Garth and Brutal Bob. So let's check out what Garth had to say.
What's up, everybody? King of the Trailer Park here, Garth Mahoney. And this weekend in Hoxie, Arkansas, I took on Austin Everest, the Mountaintop. If you ask me, he's really the biggest baby in the South. Okay? He said he was going to take everything from me. But guess what, brother? I sized you up just fine, and you came up a bit short from taking anything from Garth Mahoney. Okay? But what you did do, put this big old freaking knot on my forehead. All right? And worse than that, you done got yourself in the mix with the triple threat match with Garth Mahoney and Brutal Bob Evans. So this Saturday night in Black Rock, Arkansas, it's me, you, and Brutal Bob. And it'll be the good, the bad, the brutal Valentine. And you're not going to be happy because you ain't never got no real date, boy. Come on, man.
So Garth Mahoney, man, out of control. I think he's the perfect face right now for
Right.
Out of Control Wrestling. When I seen that he won that title, I'm not even gonna lie, I was a little surprised. But man, Garth held that title, and he's really upped his game. Garth, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, over probably the last I'm going to say 6-7 months, Garth has really upped his game and proved that he should be on a certain level. Where I don't think a lot of people thought he should be or thought he could be, but he's holding that OCW title, and he's a funny guy. He's entertaining, and he's the king of the trailer park, man.
So you look at that promo right there, and that's something I got to know Garth over the last year or so, and I've got a camera roll full of them type of videos that have nothing to do with wrestling.
Right.
And I'll never forget he was it your podcast he done where he was inside of his truck, like the hood of his truck, like underneath the hood?
No, I think that was just a video he did,
Okay.
man.
He did the video, and I remember I'm like, okay. And then I get this video after he wins the heavyweight title from me, which, I didn't see that coming either. That was a weird night, weird finish. And I get this video of him getting a truck.
Man, yeah, me and you talked about that. I'm still pissed at him. I know you are.
I am too, because I don't know who Garth had to, go under a desk for to get that. But it's like, man, like I didn't get no truck.
JPJ, Garth broke the knee pads out for that one, dude. You know he did.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing with Garth is making sure he keeps knee pads on now, because every time he doesn't wear one and stuff, he almost blows his knee out. So
I'm beginning to think that's a damn work. I'm beginning to think that's a work. I think Garth uses that, man.
I don't know. Okay, so it could be a work, but the night against Buck, it was not a work.
Look, Garth could be getting disability too. We know them trailer park people, man. We already know he steals Wi-Fi and electricity, so we know that he probably steals cable.
I'm pretty sure he snuck into one of those trailers where they make moonshine and stole some of that moonshine and stuff, and that knee was a little wobbly against Buck, and it decided it was going to blow.
Right.
I when I think of Garth, I think of, man, I'm either going to see him in WWE one day, or I'm going to see him on an episode of Cops.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying he's, he's used to the taste of a Marlboro, red, or that he ain't never stole a catalytic converter, but I can't prove he ain't done both of them.
Right. Right.
No, it's just he's one of a kind. What you see on screen, what you see on these promos, that's who that man is. And that's something unique about him, is he's the same. And he's the same behind the camera as he is in front of it. And that's good. And I think that's why the fans here at OCW, they relate to him. They see themselves in him. Heck, most of them's got an uncle just like Garth. Hell, Garth may be their uncle for all I know.
Right.
And that's the thing about Garth that's so good, is he's just, he finds a way that he connects emotionally with these people, and he connects in a way that only certain people can really understand. I don't know, though, that and I think the good thing about Garth is he doesn't always take it serious. Like Saturday night, he wrestled Austin Everett, or Austin Everett had wrestled a match earlier on the card, actually opening match, and Garth, Austin had called Garth out before the match started, and Garth's music played, and no Garth. Well, Austin's in the middle of his match, and sure enough, out walks Garth to go to the concession stand. He said he was thirsty. That's all I know. And it cost Austin Everett the match, and Austin's blaming Garth for everything. I don't know how we, again, I blame Garth for some things because still haven't had that conversation yet about his friends at APW, but I'm gonna let that die for at least till Sunday, and then we'll figure it out. But no, Austin Everest is he blames Garth, and then I think both of them are looking at each other, but overlooking Brutal Bob.
Brutal Bob, right? I agree with that. And Everest had some words. Everest, man, once he started talking, he ain't quit yet. So he had a promo.
It's the good, the bad, and the brutal. Valentine. Saturday night, Garth Mahoney, I'm going to do to you everything I've been saying I'm going to do, and I am going to take everything from you like you took everything from me. See, they might call you a champ for short, but it won't be for long. And Bob Evans, let's talk about you right now. Bob, it is an honor to get to stand across the ring from an all-time great like yourself. And Bob, the mountaintop Austin Everest, has to tell you, I just have to. It's not personal. It's just business when I leave you laying in the death zone. And Garth Mahoney, I'm going to rip your title away from you just like I did your shirt.
So here's the deal about Austin, man. His confidence. Man, from the first time I seen Austin to today, his confidence now is off the charts. He believes every word he says now, and it didn't used to be that way, man. And all that changed when he came back from Dr. Tom's.
Yeah, I mean, dude, his confidence is through the roof, and that's that's great, and that he believes it, and he believes it himself. So when he's out there, he doesn't lose too many times. So I think again, this match, through a standpoint of where we go forward with OCW, this is that match. This right here is the match that is it going to be the young heel over here is full of confidence, full of himself, knows how big he is, knows how hard he is to stop? Is it going to be Garth right here, who has been the face of this company, has led this company through from what we started at to where we are now? Or are you going to get Brutal Bob Evans, somebody that's been around, done been there, done that kind of guy? Is he just too experienced for these two? And that's what I'm saying. Like, the fate of like what OCW, where we go in the future, it hangs in this match right here. Because where do you go after Saturday night if Brutal Bob is flying back to Boston with the heavyweight title? Where do you go on the 21st if Austin Everest is now our heavyweight champion, and Garth Mahoney's does Garth go ahead and align with APW to try to get it back? Does he still want to be that fighting champion that we had before, and does he chase Austin Everest, or does Garth win both, beat them both, and then who's next after Austin Everest? There's a lot of questions that come with outcomes, but then again, it's like, okay, what's the future of OCW look like after Saturday night?
That you talk about a lot of questions, and I got $1 million question for you. We've seen what's been going on over the last few weeks, month or so, between OCW and Ricky Kennedy's APW. Saturday night is obviously the biggest show, the most important show in OCW history. What happens if Ricky Kennedy shows up with his APW guys and spoils this event, Jack?
Man, I thought of that question. So I'm going to do Ricky Kennedy one better. one, if he shows up and tries to cause problems, I got enough security that, they'll run his whole group out. But I want to do one better. I want Ricky Kennedy to get 2 wrestlers. Pick 2 wrestlers that you got that you feel confident can beat any of my wrestlers. And I'm going to get 2 of my wrestlers at OCW, and we're going to put them in a tag team match. All they got to do is show up. They'll be allowed in. Ricky Kennedy will be allowed in. But just know, if you start any problems past that, I will escort you out. Ricky knows that his time's coming. We are going to have a war. They did not get lucky by there being a snowstorm. We're going to have a war. And, I've got some really pissed off guys that are ready to bust Ricky and half his crew in the mouth. I got some guys that think Garth's part of it. And so, Ricky, this is my invite to you. Pick 2 guys. Bring them Saturday night. I'll pick 2 guys, and then we can let them face off. And that way, before the war starts, one of us can get a victory.
Jack, I feel like the war's already started.
Oh, it started.
I feel like Ricky has fired the opening shots to this war, man. And we've seen at least 2 times over. APW's pretty much left OCW laying in the ring. And who's the guy right at the center of that? Garth Mahoney. The OCW heavyweight champion is the guy standing up in the middle of that. Is he involved? I'll be honest with you. I don't know. At first, I thought, well, surely he's involved because it's APW and that's his home promotion. But as this thing's played out more, now I'm wondering, is Ricky Kennedy just using Garth for his own advantage?
I think Ricky's been using Garth for a long time. Garth came here and instantly got over with the fans, and I felt like Ricky's held him back for all these years. So now you got Ricky that's, he wants to come in and I don't know, I don't know, was Ricky piggybacking off of Garth and, decided or got jealous that Garth got over here and got over, and, they attacked us. And thing is the video will be out soon. I hope this week at some point, but we got our get back. It's not yet, but it'll be out where they showed up. Again, it's kind of ironic because they showed up and Garth didn't this night, and we got our get back. But no, I don't know where Garth's allegiance lies. We haven't seen eye to eye. We haven't really spoke much other than talking about the 14th. He told me, he's got to focus on this match for Saturday, and I'm giving him that leeway, and then we'll talk after, and we'll figure this out.
Hey man, Ricky Kennedy's in here, man. He says he chooses Tommy Too Good and Austin Ratchild. My boys aren't scared of anyone you got, Jack. So the challenge has been accepted and answered.
Okay. All right. So you show up. I think since you've attacked me twice from behind, I think it's only fair that I think on who my 2 are.
Kate Allen's already in here, and he wants in that match.
Well,
he's asking for it, Jack.
And Cade's a possibility. I've got 2 that are really pissed off right now that I think may be perfect for this match. I'm not going to take this choice lightly because I know that Drop Top's another one. I know the Canines are not happy with Ricky Kennedy and these guys. I know that Jonathan Black is not happy with these guys. So I've got a multiple choices here. I want to make sure that look, not only do I put the best 2 out there, I believe in everybody, but I put the best 2 out there that they can go out and beat the living hell out of these 2 guys and send them tuck and tail between their legs out of the building.
Right. So, look, man, Hot Tamales with us, the Burn 'em Up podcast. Jack, man, you need to get on this podcast. Hot Tamale, he is the current UWA World Heavyweight Champion. You need to get this guy on your podcast, man. It'll be hilarious. It'd be a blast, man. So now we got a matchup. We don't know who OCW side's going to be, but we know who Ricky Kennedy's side is. So now the fans can expect that. Now you're going also, out of all these big matches, now you're also going to get some of the APW roster on this big event. That's a big time deal. And do you think anything will get settled, man? Honestly, Jack, you've been in this business a long time. I feel like Ricky's got a vendetta out for you and OCW especially for some reason.
Look, I'll tell you straight up. I told Ricky last time he was here, last time they tucked tail and left, I have nothing. I didn't have anything against Ricky Kennedy. I've worked for APW. I loved being at APW. All right. I got to wrestle Alan Steele last time I was there. We had a great match. The time before that, I got to wrestle Night Train. And we had a good match. It entertained a lot of fans in Cherry Valley. I don't have not one thing against, Ricky. Now, if he feels a certain way about me, that's fine. He can man up and come see me face to face. I'm not hard to find. But if you don't want to man up and see me face to face, tell your little heavyweight champion out there who's running around with that little belt of his, claiming he's all APW. I ain't seen him show up one time yet. So tell him he can show his little ass up here and stuff, and I'll take that little belt from him. And then now Ricky Kennedy's got to deal with me every time he has a show.
Heard it right there from the horse's mouth. I'm anxious to see how this interpromotional feud plays out in the end. There's a lot at stake right there going on with this. But Jack, you talking about a lot at stake. That brings us to what I'm assuming is going to be the main event of the evening. And you got a personal vested interest in this one. It's for the UWA Heavyweight Championship. JPJ, Jack Parker Jr. versus the real one, Enzo. Talk to me about this. This is a big-time matchup. Let me ask you straight off like this, Jack. Is this the biggest match of your career to this point?
For the magnitude of what Enzo has done, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say this is the biggest matchup of my career. And I'm not taking anything away from Enzo, because Enzo, I was a fan of him when he was in WWE. I was, a huge Enzo guy. I thought, man, like that's something, it was kind of old school. Like you could talk him in the building, didn't have to work hard once you got him in there.
Right.
I look at my career, I think, differently than most would look at theirs. Every moment in my career, whether it was big or small, was big to me. I created a list a long time ago of like some of the top heavyweights in the world that I wanted to work, and I'm not talking about the guys that were in WWE and things like that. I'm just talking about just big names names in general of who I considered some of the top heavyweights. And at the top of that list was Michael Elgin at the time. And I've got to, I have a trilogy that will always go down. It's one of my personal favorites.
Right.
Him, and it was, one of the, that was my moment of kind of like where Bruce and Draven are of, hey, go out there and show that you belong. And you go out there and you guys show that y'all that, you take your flowers because you're in this match, but also go out there and show them why you're getting your flowers, why you deserve to be in this match, why you've been slept on, why nobody's, you go out there and you show the rest of the world, because you have this bigger platform that this is, we're here, we've been here, now you know who we are.
Right.
So on that level, that's what this is with Enzo. This is that matchup where, I don't ever like saying this because I'm not one of those guys that have this huge ass ego where I think I'm better than anybody, or, I should be here, they shouldn't, or why has the world opened up to me kind of deal. I don't believe in that. I just get up every day and I keep working, and if something comes, something comes. If it don't, I'm just going to continue to do what I do. But I've been asked, throughout the last probably 6-7 years, why aren't you here? Why aren't you there? You should be here. You should be there. I don't have an imposter syndrome. I believe that you put me against anybody, and I'm going to have a good match. You give me an opportunity, I'm going to knock it out of the park. I'm going to kick the door down. But over the last probably year, yeah, you have a little bit of that looking at your age, and I think if anybody watched my little TikTok and seen the video that I put out with the song on it, it was kind of that old man, look at my life. And I kind of looked at that as like, okay, I'm getting up there in age. My body ain't what it was 5-6 years ago. It's time to start, this is the time. It's the last time. And then I said I wanted a headliner. I actually had no intentions of wrestling on this show. I was going to probably set out and just watch, more promote and book than anything. Because we've had this discussion. I'm not always a fan of bookers promote, putting themselves in the main event. Well, I got Enzo here. What can we do? Well, I call Mark and I have a long conversation with Money Mark, and I was going to bring in Bullwhip and, tell your boy, this is where we're going to do it. I'm going to beat him on this big stage right here. And somebody else was going to, fill the Enzo spot. Well, then how do you get the UWA on the map?
That's right.
How do you say, look, I'm now the UWA heavyweight champion. You can strap a rocket to my ass and stuff, and I'll take you places. You can't say all that and not back that up.
Right.
So that was where the thought started changing. Then the rest of the team at OCW were like, you're wrestling Enzo, you're doing this. And so I reluctantly at first was like, okay. And then the more I started thinking about it, and the more I started thinking about my age, and then I'm sitting here watching shows out here, and I got, this kid from Mexico, this dancing taco that I can't tell you how old he is because I don't really know. He's going out there, and I feel like, man, he looks like a kid. And then, and then all these younger guys, I just, man, I think over the last probably 6 months, I stopped being as hungry as I was before. I've, personal stuff, then taking over as booker. And I didn't want nobody to think, oh my God, like, Jack's just booking himself, to be.
Let's hold right there for a second, Jack. You mentioned that about the booker, and as wrestlers, we all hate that, and it is a problem unless the biggest problem with the promoter booking himself in the main event is if he cannot carry the ball. That's the thing. Go back to Jerry Lawler. Why was Jerry Lawler in the main events and he owned the territory? Because he could carry the fucking ball. Simple as that. So that's where that kind of goes out the window. That's only an issue when you got guys that couldn't be in the main event unless they put themselves there. You got a guy who is main event and can carry that ball, and if that happens to be the guy, the booker, then do what's best for business. If booking yourself against Enzo Amore is the best matchup for the fans, the people, the UWA, OCW, and everybody involved, then do that, because that's the marquee matchup. It only becomes a problem if you ain't main event material.
Right. And that's the thing. Like I said earlier, I'm not one of those guys that have that crazy ass ego. My ego's show. It's for the fans. But I do live by that motto of I take 0 days off. And I wasn't 6 months ago, I stopped being as hungry. When you're the booker, it's not about you. It's about the promotion.
Right.
So I kind of, in my own career, stopped being hungry. Well, then somewhere along the line, I got reintroduced to this, cowboy hat wearing, loud ass,
right,
bullwhip Ballard. And you go through this process of kind of reminding yourself of who you are. And then I went out there for, several weeks in a row, and I had these matches where I've got guys coming back to me going, man, that's the best match of my career. And then you start reminding yourself again, just who the fuck you are. And it's like, okay, it's okay. I've been telling myself for a minute, all I want is a seat at the table. You give me a seat at the table to prove that I belong here. And it don't matter if I get a contract. It don't matter if I go across the world. It don't matter at all. I know that I belong there. And, and I believe that in myself because I can go out there and the crowd, either good or bad with me, they either hate my guts or they're with me all the way.
Right.
So now I get to do it on a big stage. Nobody, I get to bring these fans along on what my vision is of wrestling. And that's been the cool part of being the booker and the promoter of this. Because, again, it's a group of people, but I'm the one kind of in the forefront of that. So it's not only my vision, it's my reputation.
Right. There you go. Right there.
So at the end of the night, now I'm a guy you can put a lot on my plate and stuff. And for whatever reason, I'm going to come through. So at the end of the night, OCW's on the line, UWA's on the line, my reputation's on the line. And who knows where this goes after that? I don't know if this leads to something bigger for me. If it does, great. If it doesn't, hey, at least I proved that, Saturday night that I belong.
And here's the thing. This is another one for me. This is another one of those win-win matches for OCW and the UWA. Here's the deal. It sucks for you if Enzo comes out and gets the Duke and takes the UWA belt, but in turn, then he's going to take that UWA belt all across the country, all across the world to the different places he goes, and he's going to have that unified wrestling alliance heavyweight title with him. If you get the Duke, then OCW is on the map. UWA is on the map. You got that signature victory right there over Enzo. So I don't see how this is a no-lose situation for OCW and the UWA, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, and you know, it's a win for the UWA, which is huge. It's a win for OCW, which is, for me, they're hand in hand, but the OCW thing, that's a huge win for everybody that's put all this time and effort into this show. It's a huge win, no matter what happens. But I look at it and I go, man, so I beat Enzo. What's next? What's next? Who's next?
Right.
Where does the momentum carry with UWA? Where does it carry with OCW? Because I've heard this, and talking to UWA management, the goal has always been to travel this belt.
Right.
To get out there and travel this belt. Well, what I'm hoping happens after this is the UWA sees, okay, look, this is a UWA sanctioned match. It's put on by OCW, but it's a UWA sanctioned match. Okay, get with these other promotions. We can do this with every promotion. And I'm not talking about the magnitude of this event, but I'm saying, hey, send me out there. Put your best against me. Let's make the UWA known. Because, again, I don't half-ass anything that I do. So, like, I hope that whoever's, over the UWA is watching this, and they're saying, okay, JPJ took it upon himself to help the UWA, to make this match for the UWA heavyweight title. Okay, let's do this with all the other promotions that are part of UWA.
That's right, right there. And that was what the UWA was designed anyway. It was to bring the territory system kind of back around our area. The UWA, and I could be off, but I think there's like 8 companies involved. OCW, APW is a UWA affiliate.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot going on there.
On the APW, thing, you never know. JPJ could just show up and kick the living shit out of somebody. Again, I'd put me against half his roster face to face.
That's a bold statement. That's a bold statement, Jack.
You can't. Ricky knows that he's unmasked half of them. I know what they look like. I mean, anybody can kick somebody when they ain't looking, but when they're looking them in the face and stuff, hey, it may take 6 to whip my ass, but 3 of you is going to know that I was there.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't hit me from behind. So guess what? I may show up at APW one night. I may just show up, but I'm going to show up the right way. I'm going to walk in. I'm going to have the UWA heavyweight title, and I'm going to tell Ricky, hey, I'll put this against any of you guys. I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are. I've done that here at OCW. Saturday night, I wrestled Cameron McGraw. Nobody really knows who Cameron McGraw is unless you've been around West Tennessee.
Right.
That kid, very talented. He deserves to get noticed. And, no matter how you feel about his family and stuff, or things that's went on in his life, that dude knows how to wrestle. He's athletic as shit. He's vicious as hell. And, so I did that Saturday night. Last week, Prestigious Pete, another one of my guys. Look, anybody in the UWA, you have an open invitation. Anytime you want to come here and you want to work for the UWA heavyweight title, hey, you're more than welcome. Hit me up. Hit up our Facebook page. I don't care. Come on. I'm trying to make the UWA big, just like I'm trying to make OCW big. The only difference is I'm doing it as the UWA champion. The other side of it, I'm doing it as the OCW booker. I'm, if you want me to come to your promotion, hit me up. I'll come to your promotion. I'll beat whoever your whack ass number 1 is, and I'll kick his ass. I'll hold the title up. I'll walk out, and then I'll go on to the next place. That's how the territories were done. That's how Ric Flair did it. That's how Dusty Rhodes did it. That's how Sting did it. That's how all these guys done it before me. Harley Race, which I could go on for days about Harley, but that's how they done it. Let's do it the same way. If like I said, you want to put a rocket to my, strap a rocket to my ass and shoot me to the moon, let's fucking do it. I'm
and that's the whole purpose of the UWA. Let's be clear about this. Every one of the UWA affiliates all have their own heavyweight champion. But that heavyweight championship in each one of these separate companies, if you become their heavyweight champion, that earns you a shot somewhere at the UWA heavyweight champion. And right now, that's you. And that's the deal. That's the whole thing. That title was designed for you to go around to each one of these affiliates, defend that UWA title against their heavyweight champions. And like you said, with a match like this, you beat Enzo, who's to say UWA ain't going to start getting calls? You ain't going to start getting calls. Hey, we want you to come here and defend that UWA heavyweight title against our best anywhere in the country. And that's the actual goal. You want to be a traveling champion? The UWA gives you the opportunity.
Look, I grew up, my first tape trade, was a Harley Race match. I grew up loving the territory days. I set up every Saturday morning to watch Memphis wrestling. I know, and I love the territory system. I know it's dead and gone, and people think it's dead and gone, and you can't do it. Well, the thing is all these guys got to work together.
Right.
There's no damn egos in this shit. Like, let's set a pay rate for your guys, your champions. Set a pay rate. Don't have it astronomical where these smaller promotions can't pay the fee. If the owner of the UWA want to pitch in and split it, or pay 75%, the company pays 75%, the owner pays 25%. Hey, let's do something like that. But let's get these guys on the road where the top tag teams, the UWA tag team champions, can face TIWF's tag team champions.
Right.
Let's do that. Let's show that this can be done. People said it in the state of Arkansas for a long time. You couldn't put on a big promotion or a big show or a big event.
Right.
Well, I've watched it a few times, and I'm about to do it Saturday night. So it can be done. We can all work together. And if you don't like another promotion, or you don't like what they're doing, you ain't got to be part of the UWA.
Right.
Or just all you got to do is fucking work together. Like, none of us should be out there trying to undercut another promotion. I want everybody to succeed in this business. I don't give a shit. And I say this nicely about him. Ricky Kennedy, I want APW to succeed. That way, every time I come into APW and I kick the living shit out of somebody at APW, it's going to be a full house. Why would I not want that? Why would I not want competition down the road, 30 miles down the road? We know of a promotion that's running Friday night and Saturday night right around here. They brung in a superstar. Hey, great. I hope they succeed. I hope they pack out. I'm not worried about these other promotions. I'm worried about OCW. I'm worried about the UWA. But I ain't got no beef with anybody on any other promotion. Like, we should be working together, especially with the UWA, and making it bigger than what it is right now.
Right, and that's the biggest issue, period, in wrestling in general, but it's bad around our area, that everybody needs to drive. Look, here's the thing. The wrestling business around our area is going to be exactly what it is right now until everybody pulls back and realizes, hey, we need to work. We may not like each other, but we definitely need to work together at times, so everybody gets more well-known. And bring the pay scale up around our area for wrestlers. That's a big problem too. Wrestlers can't make money. They cannot make a living around our area right now, specifically just around our area. They literally have to go other places, other states to make money. And then time you add the travel, the trans, the motels, the food, they're still losing money. This territory used to be a territory. Our area used to make money, make livings for 10 or 15 guys at a time all year round.
Yeah, so this is such a hard topic because I'm also a booker, so I have to follow a budget. But I'm also one of the boys, so this is also like one of those really hard topics to talk about. I understand smaller promotions can't pay out the same that I understand that smaller promotions can't pay out the same that some of your bigger promotions can pay. I understand that. I get that. But I think, first and foremost, go get sponsors. Go get some, banners you can hang on your wall, that can pay for your shows, or help pay for your shows. Also, like that's kind of what this show Saturday night's going to do. That's the plan was, okay, we have a big show, we make a little bit of money, where we can, pay the guys more,
right?
Pay deserve, again, I know what it looks like starting out. You starting out, you don't make a lot of money. You pay your dues. You pretty much work for a hot dog and a handshake, and don't. I want everybody to know I've been there.
Right.
You've been there.
Right.
You know what that work looks like. But you do it because you love this. And then once you get kind of to a certain level where you go, okay, well, I'd like to make a little bit of money. This is a business. This is the wrestling business. Well, you do one of two things. Either you go out and you buy yourself shirts, you buy yourself, pictures, you do all that stuff, and you hope to make money at the merch table, or you start asking for more money. Well, if you don't get more money, what do we do? We go somewhere else. Well, again, like I want to pay my guys what I feel like they're worth.
Right.
I don't want to just, I don't want to just always follow a budget and go, man, I've only got X amount of dollars, so this is what I can give you. Well, that guy's not worth that. He's worth more than that.
Right.
These guys are sacrificing time with their family and their loved ones, and some of them even their regular jobs to come do this. Yeah, the risk has always been there. I may come out here and make $10, but if I break my leg and stuff, I can't go to my job on Monday and make, my $18 an hour job, so now I'm going to miss out on a lot of money, but we take that risk. And that's something I've always thought about. I've always considered, and that's where, getting around Bob Evans and doing some of that stuff it helped me out a lot of learning how to make money on this independent scene. And, yeah, right there, I've had so many questions about the seminar, and I think people are kind of intimidated because, around here, they don't do a lot of seminars. But it's open to anybody and everybody. This for somebody to come get a seminar with Bob Evans, in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Go
do it. Go do it. It's as simple as that. Go do it. If you're thinking about it, just go do it.
Right. Yeah, and I've done several seminars, and some of them have been money grabs. Some of them have been, oh yeah, you come do this seminar, and certain person's going to look at you and put your name on a list for WWE, and it's horse shit. You pay $120 and get shit out of it.
Dude, they used to do tryouts like that, man. You don't know how many guys I've seen go to try. Even USWA used to do it. They put out these cast and call tryouts almost, and if I'm remembering right, it was like $250, and you go do this tryout, and at the end of the day, they really ain't looking for nobody. Now, don't get me wrong. If you happen to go to one of these and you're super exceptional, that don't mean you wouldn't get an opportunity. But overall, like you said, more than not, they were just money grabs.
Right. So I've done 6 or 8 now. I can't remember. I've done 6 to 8 Bob seminars. I've actually helped be one of the coaches at 2 of them. That it is worth the money. For me, it was worth the drives that I took to go do the seminars, but it's worth the money, because you're going to get knowledge of in-ring, but not only that, you're going to get knowledge of how to make money doing what we do, where we do it.
Right. I don't see, look, I don't know Brutal Bob personally. I do follow a lot of his stuff on social media, and I have been for a long time. I don't see Brutal Bob's not doing a money grab.
No.
He loves this business. You can tell that by every single thing he does with and around the wrestling business and in the wrestling business. So if you want to spend your money wisely, this is a seminar to go to.
So I tell people this when they ask me about the seminar. The first one I went to, I think, and now they've all been different. That's been the cool thing. They've all been different. But the first one that I've done, I think I might have got an hour to 2 hours in ring of wrestling. The rest was, okay, we're here in the independents, but how can we make money doing this? And he gave me the tools, and it wasn't but like 2 or 3 months later, I was to a point of where just wrestling on the weekend, I could quit my shoot job, and I didn't, thank God, because COVID hit shortly after that. But I was there where it was really strongly thought about. Of, man, I think I could make a traveling career out of this. But no, but I learned that from Bob, and just, the wealth of knowledge that this man has is, it's undescribable. And I can't, there wouldn't be a JPJ without a Bob Evans. And I know so many wrestlers that have said the same thing about themselves. Hey, I wouldn't be this without Bob Evans. And even guys that are making millions now, I've heard several of them, talk about Bob and how much he's meant to them. So
Bob's been here with us. Bob says, "Hey guys, what's going on, Bob? Glad you're with us, man."
Yeah, so me and Bob, we go back to the company that was here at OCW before, the brief time that they took a hiatus of being OCW. I owned SCCW, and I was going to bring Bob in, and we had a snowstorm, and I went ahead and paid Bob. He didn't come, but I went ahead and paid him because, his time's valuable. And I think I earned his respect that way. And so he took the money. He said, "Hey, let's use this. How can I help your career?" So the thing about Bob is being of service to the promotions that we work, being of service to the fans, like, because that's what we are. We're in the we are serving a purpose, and we're giving a service to these people. And that's the thing, like, whether it's I come into a promotion and, hey, what can I do to help? Promos, promo picks, coming out, maybe, getting here and working with the younger talent, whatever I can do to help the promotion out, that's what I want to do. But the biggest thing is like teaching that to these younger guys, and that's the cool thing about Bob's seminars, because I see so many guys who've been to Bob seminars that literally are passing on the knowledge. And then now you get to meet the man in person. He gets to teach you that knowledge firsthand. Well, what do you get to do? In 2 or 3 years, you've used everything Bob's taught you. So 2 or 3 years, you're teaching the next guy up.
And if guys don't do that, eventually that bridge between old and new won't be there no more. It'll die out. So, I mean, it's a big deal for somebody to pass their knowledge on to the up and coming guys in this business. I mean, that's just as simple as that, because if you don't, that knowledge will disappear.
Oh, absolutely. 100% will. And I think that's the bad thing. I think there's places, and I'm not one to go into names, but there's places where the guys who were on the top level, they didn't really pass on that knowledge to the guys. And I think in one area, that's where that place died at. And it's just one of those, like, man, I'd almost say, like, we have a duty in this brotherhood, because we all consider it a brother and sisterhood. We have a duty to the next one up.
Right.
We have, because if you truly honor this business, why are you not passing on that knowledge to the next guy up?
If you want pro wrestling to have a future, you need to pass that knowledge on.
Right.
I mean, it's as simple as that. These young guys are the future of our business. So the more knowledge that you can give these guys, the better off the pro wrestling business is going to be as a whole.
Well, I mean, you look at it in a sports sense. We watch football. Yeah, you get to a point where a Brett Favre doesn't want to pass on the next to Aaron Rodgers, but he's still done it.
Right.
You know, because he owes it to football. You know, and we owe it to wrestling. You know, I remember a couple of years ago, before he passed, Kobe Bryant wrote the love letter to basketball and what basketball had done for him. And I think every day, like, we get to go out and live our love letter to wrestling. Well, why are we not passing that on to the next person up? Why are we not, we owe it to wrestling. Because if you think about it, if the guys before us didn't pass it on to us, this would be dead. Right.
Look, Jack, this thing is scheduled. We can't get on here, me and you, apparently, and not do 3 hours. Look, this thing is scheduled to go out at 10 o'clock because we started late and I didn't adjust the end time. We got 8 minutes. I hate to start cutting this thing short, but I want to give you plenty of time to plug the seminar first. And I know this thing, it ain't just the seminar and the wrestling at night. This thing starts at what, like 8 o'clock in the morning? Give everybody all the particulars.
Yes. So let's go. Let's break it down. Like, so 8 o'clock in the morning, like, a big community-wide event that's going to lead into the meet and greet starting at 12 noon. It'll be in the school cafeteria. We've got food trucks. We got vendors. We have, we have so much stuff going on. And then Gallows, Anderson, Enzo, Abaddon, all of them will get there around noon. You'll have your meet and greet. But at the same time as the meet and greet's going on in the gymnasium where the event will be at, we'll have Bob Evans' seminar going from 11 to 4. We'll take a quick break from 4 o'clock till right before showtime. We will have 2 VIP matches before the show starts. So starting about 6:30, we'll start one of the VIP matches and then run it up till bell time at 7 o'clock. Let's see what else. Man, that's about it. Like I said, if you want to, come on down. If you haven't got your tickets, come early. Come for the, community event. Get you some good food. We got, like I said, we got food trucks. We'll have vendors inside. We're, Lord willing, that the weather, I know it's showing rain, but I think I think we've got everything figured out of how to move it inside if it does rain. but we got mechanical bulls. We got things for, the littlest kid to the oldest, oldest adult that wants to come out. Tickets are still on sale. Not with Eventbrite anymore. We're with, now we're over to our Cash App. You can get tickets day of. Let's see what else. Yeah, just come on out. You're going to have a fun time. If you've never been to a wrestling show and this is your first one, it's the first one to come to. You're not going to be disappointed. Bring your entire family. OCW, while in name is Out of Control Wrestling, we are very family friendly. You're going to, you bring your whole family, and you don't have to worry about going to church on Sunday and having to, ask for forgiveness. I promise you that you're going to be in good hands. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else, Buster, I'm forgetting? Lord.
Dude, man, I think you nailed it all that I know of, man. It's not just a wrestling event, man. This is an event unto itself. There's something for everybody. Like you said, food. There's stuff for the kids to do, meet and greets, the seminar. I mean, this is a whole deal, man. Big event, Jack, man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, I am so anxious to see how the final play of this thing, how it all plays out, dude. Man, I think you've done a wonderful job promoting this thing. And this is an event, man. You pull this off, this is something you can be proud of, dude. This is something it's a feather in your cap as a booker, as a promoter, and as a wrestler, Jack.
And also, so before I jump off here, I want to thank, our sponsors, and I can't name them all right now. I mean, first, AutoZone of Paragould, Arkansas Muscle, which are our main two. But I want to thank everyone every vendor. I want to thank every food truck, everyone that sponsored money. I want to thank all of them. I want to thank all the guys at OCW, all the other, people being a part of this show that have taken their time out to either cut promos, send stuff, share the flyer, all that. I want to thank them. And then I want to thank the main crew, which is, Ronnie, Shannon, Blackshear. We couldn't do this without them. Then Jen Hedge, for everything she's done. She, like I said, she's been the rock star on the sponsorship world. She's been the rock star on getting merch stuff for us, and event placards for us to walk around the whole day with. She's been the rock star there. I want to thank Crystal Parker, Stacy Ludwig. They also been rock stars on getting sponsors or in attempting to. They went out and talked to everybody. Jen, she went from, good Lord, she went from Paragould all the way to Missouri trying to get sponsors, and then mainly I want to thank Anthony Ludwig. This man does not get enough credit. Not a lot of people know who he is, and I think he likes it that way. But this man has been my right-hand man on all this. So this is a testament to all of us. I don't want to just say it's about me and this is what I've done, because it's not. I can't take, I can take a portion of the credit for having the idea, but, these people have all come on board and put it all into action, and I couldn't do it without the guys. So Saturday night, like I said, it's going to be an event unlike any other. And I mean that because, I've been it's been on our Facebook hashtag, Let's Get Out of Control. You do not know what is coming Saturday night. There's some things that ain't shown. I'm keeping it in my back pocket. You don't want to miss it, because it's going to be something that you're going to talk about for a while. I promise. And that's
Jack,
it.
man, I appreciate you so much for coming on. As always, anytime we get together, we go 3 hours and it's a blast. I wish you all the luck in the world with this event coming up Saturday, man. And you have a great night, my friend.
You too, brother.
All right, y'all. You seen it right there. JPJ, Out of Control Wrestling, Black Rock, Arkansas, this Saturday night. Do not miss it. It is an event that you do not want to miss. It's off the charts. A lot of great talent that you're not going to see here on a regular basis. You do not want to miss it. Do not forget the Brutal Bob Evans seminar. And there's food, there's fun, and there's wrestling. You can't beat that, guys. I will be back Thursday night with Jabari Young, the hottest youngin' in the game. He's always standing on business. Until then, y'all take it.
When you hear that Buster H.R. Oh, man, it's about to go down. You feel the tension in the air. Wrestling fans all over the world, get ready for this right here. They're gonna have a field day with this one. You're about to witness Buster Unmasked. Oh, Lord! Oh, Lord! There's no telling what Buster's gonna say today. We just getting started. Just getting